Hi, John. Good.
What do you say there, David?
Hey, happy Thanksgiving's coming up soon, and Halloween was good fun a couple of weeks ago.
Halloween was great fun. It's always fun to give candy to little kids, see them run all around.
Yeah, actually, speaking of that, the event that was at the Point, did you go out there and
We gave out like 600 pieces of candy.
Holy cow!
At least maybe 550, because I think 50 of them. Those peanut butter cup Reese's are still around. I had a couple today, in fact.
I thought that was your breakfast at Champions.
It's hard to stay thin around this group. I don't know how I stay so svelte looking.
I tell you, it is. But you're looking taller this week, I must admit. I feel like I've shrunk a little bit here. So, anyways, let's jump right into it, John. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on with the market, because it's really still very, very positive. And I think you made a comment that some people seem to be doom and gloom, but there's no reason.
You know, I don't mean. First of all, if you own property, whether it be rentals or your single-family home, or your single-family home plus some people have rentals on top of that. I mean, your net wealth has grown.
It is.
I mean, in fact, here in the Fredericksburg area, home prices year over year are up almost 15.91%. I mean, wow. That translates into wealth just sitting there. I mean,
and it's the same. You hear things in the stock market as well. So many companies have done extremely well. They're sitting on a lot of cash in their bank accounts at the moment, and then unemployment is heading in the right direction.
Unemployment is at traditional historic lows.
Right.
So I'm very optimistic. I think with the new infrastructure, that's going to create opportunities for everyone. It's for business people, small business people, blacktop companies and concrete companies, but also the workers as well. I feel that living here in Virginia or in the DMV, the greater Washington area,
right,
we have a unique situation because of all that federal money that comes through naturally.
Yep.
It just doesn't get any smaller.
Nope.
You talk about smaller government. I don't know about that. I think that's a lot of bull throw.
Yeah.
But we benefit from that.
We do. We do.
And then you take advantage. Of course, you and I live here in Orange County, but even Loudoun County, which is the center of the internet world.
Yep.
There are spots that don't have internet service, and
that's right.
Where you live and where you work, where you have fun.
Yep.
Even if you're going on a day trip in today's environment, right. Us Americans, we work 24/7. We don't take a break. You need internet, and that's in. So I'm feeling real good about things. I'm feeling real good about things.
Well, that's a good segue actually, John, because the infrastructure bill, which is now passed, at least it
has to be signed by President Biden.
But at the same time, that we were talking in the office the other day about the fact that there's things in that. It's not just roads and bridges and railway and stuff like that, but it's you've touched on it already. The internet. Broadband across and coming into this area, this sort of Central Virginia area, we've struggled. A lot of people that are thinking about making this their destination or making this their step towards retirement, but they live up in Northern Virginia or they live in Maryland or DC, or they come in from other states because it is such a beautiful area that we live in. They don't always think that they're not going to have internet. And yet so much of the time when you start looking at lake properties around some of the other lakes, over by Lake Caroline, or if you go down to Licata where you've got three different counties, there isn't internet, and people just assume it's there. So anyway, the point is the money coming out of the infrastructure bill that's going to go into those things is actually going to be quite a boom for existing homeowners, but also for people coming into the area that want to be on a lake or want to be in this nice central area in Virginia.
Dave, virtually everyone I talk to on the buyer side, if it's not the first question, it's the second or third. Should be the first. Is how's the internet?
Yep.
Who's the internet provider? You know,
and it doesn't. I would have said there was a time when perhaps retirees were thinking, okay, I'm getting out of corporate life and I don't even want to have an internet. I don't. I'll put up a little rabbit ear antenna for my TV, but I don't want. Everybody needs it. It doesn't matter. I mean, if you want to communicate with your grandkids, and in this last year and a half, everybody's learned how to use it better. Because that's the way we've been able to talk to grandkids and relatives in other parts of the world, is using the internet. So not having it or having really slow connectivity is not something that
yesterday I was with a client and a builder, and a young client, relatively younger client, you know, compared to me and certainly you, David, certainly you. Dave's a little bit older than I am. I think, you know, 7-8 years or something like that, but not really. One of the things they were talking about in this constructing a new home is to have hardwire Wi-Fi boosters in the house. Now, if you're like me, and you know I'm not very technical, I have a couple portable ones that I put around, but no, they have this is front page. Gotta be number one, right? Because they move around their house, and they don't want to lose it.
Exactly. No,
it's really amazing, and I can tell you that I think I bought my first house in the early '80s. Interest rates were 12 or 14% when I purchased, and you know we did not talk about Wi-Fi.
No,
we talked about hi-fis.
That's right, we did.
Yeah, turntables.
Yeah. And if you come into certainly where we live, if you come into Lake of the Woods and to some of the houses where they've been generational homes, and sometimes there's a garage sale or there's a donation going on to the Lions Club, you will still find some interesting hi-fi audio systems and just still see the occasional old tube televisions, etc.
I have a bunch of old albums. That's what you're great.
That's been coming back. Anyway,
first one I ever bought was Bob Dylan 1 and 2. I still have that first album.
Wow.
It was like $12. I think I was in sixth or seventh grade maybe. That was a lot of money back then.
They're pressing new albums now, and the good ones like that, or some of the big Fleetwood Mac albums, it's like $50-$60 for a brand, for a new version.
Who did the Scotsman listen to? Who did the Scotsman?
We had this 4 guys from Liverpool that we used to.
Oh, the Beatles.
The Beatles, yes.
Today he was telling me about making spaghetti. I'm like, is there a Scottish spaghetti sauce? You know, David is originally from Scotland.
Yes.
And his wife, his beautiful wife, Allison. Yes. Well, let's get back on.
Yeah, come on, let's get back. Let's talk a little bit more. I wanted to talk a little bit about. We were talking about with the market, the 3 things. Values are still continuing to rise, as you pointed out. Days on market is still very very short.
13 days in the Fredericksburg area.
But there's a couple of things going on that are. They're concerning. That's all I'm going to say, because there's still it's still a great seller's market that's out there. But there is some issues going on around interest rates. They're now above 3%. The 2% rates, mid to high 2s, seems to be gone. All of our lenders are telling us that. And so even though what's that doing? Well, that's meaning that the higher it goes up, the higher your mortgage payment is going to be. And here's a little chart just that I printed out, and hopefully you can see that. And it's the cost of waiting in today's market. And basically what this is saying is that rates this year for a $350,000 home at 2.86%, you are having an estimated mortgage payment of about $1,900, $1,899 exactly. All the forecasting, which is coming from Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, all the big banks and lenders, are suggesting that for this at this time in 2022, you're going to be looking at house values rising from 350 to around about 372,000. But more importantly, interest rates they're expecting to be still low, but around 3.7%. So now your $1,900 a month today is actually going to go up to almost $2,166. So that's a fair jump when you think about, first-time buyers coming in.
Hurts the first-time buyers.
It really hurts the first-time buyers. So it's definitely that's an area of concern. So if you can and you can find the right place right now, do it. That's really the message. Is that the cost of waiting is going to be expensive. You can still get in now. Don't think just because it's the holiday season that you can't find something. There are some great homes out there throughout this whole region. So anyway,
Dave, I'd like someone who's looking for a home.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like their first call to be to us.
Yep.
But you know what? The first call should be to a lender.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have a lender that you're comfortable with,
yep.
Give us a call, and we can refer you to one or two that we refer that have historically done a great job. I mean, we refer a lot of business, so they take care of our clients, and because you need to know that now. And also, if you're looking at a home and you see a home today that you want to buy, and you don't have yourself set up, you're very often going to lose that home because someone else has already done their homework and got prepared.
I mean, we just had a situation over this past weekend. One of our listings here, I think, had over 30 showings. 30 over 30 showings.
And
multiple offers, and it just went under contract.
Went under contract yesterday.
Yeah,
so that house was, I don't know what the final price wound up being, but I would imagine it went above list.
I'm sure it did.
But it was a little bit less than 300,000, which are few and far between.
Yep.
I mean, you find value like that in our Central Virginia, that you're not going to find a single family home like that in Reston.
Right. But again, with the 15% increase, if you're one of our clients on the buying side right now, we've got you set up. We've set your budget at this. Realistically, we need to be you need to be thinking about where that budget has to be for next year if we're not going to actually manage to do something in 2020.
And even if you're a cash buyer, when you make an offer, you have to substantiate that you have the money. So if it's in an account that you have to call someone on Monday to get it on Tuesday, that delays everything. So again, get your ducks in a row. So when you're ready to row, you're ready.
So John, let's just switch topics for a second because it was great to hear today's the 9th, I believe. So great to hear that yesterday the 8th, America is finally open again. Travel is open. And there has
people were cheering in the airports.
They were. I mean, I was watching.
Haven't seen people for
exactly. There was from London Heathrow. There was 2 aircraft, and they did a simultaneous takeoff. They were both coming to the States. They were both coming to the USA. One to JFK, and I think one to DC. But both aircraft rolled down the runway and took off at exactly the same time. But it was just significant that now. It's still being vaccinated and proof, etc., and so on. But now we're back open again, and that's gonna be a good boost for the economy, especially again in DC area. And the other part of this, which is a personal thing for me, is the Canadian border to the US for Canadians that come south. We call them the snowbirds. And they come south and they come into our area. They go a little bit further south around Myrtle Beach and down into the Carolinas. But they've not been able to come down for 2 years.
Well, you went up and saw your father-in-law for the first time.
Yep.
And
now he could come here, and that's the thing. He could not come here now for over almost 2 years.
Is he coming?
No. We're working on that. We're trying to. Nice. We're working on that.
Well, you got a beautiful place. It'd be nice for him to see it.
Exactly. But yeah, it's great, and I think that we're going to see more tourists coming in, which is good for our hotel business. It's good for our restaurant business. It's good for our whole region. And I think that having the country open up again is great news.
Yeah, a lot of positive stuff. I mean, we have a lot of people who are a little not happy, but heck, I'm a lot happier today than I was yesterday.
Yep, I totally agree. So, got anything else to share with us?
Well, I do want a couple other things. Are you referring to the market?
No, actually, I was thinking more
just in
about
general stuff.
In general.
So, we had one of our great real estate advisors, Dan Seiler, has retired. Again, one of those folks that is no longer in the employment. Very highly productive person. No longer he's sort of enjoying himself, at least in the moment. Hopefully for a long moment.
He's working on his saxophone skills at the moment. So just watch out, folks. They may be coming to you in a band, the Seiler Trio, I think. I don't know who's going to be with them. Well, I hear
Springsteen still needs a sax player since Clarence passed on a few years ago. But we've made adding a great young lady to our team, and you'll hear about that more in the coming weeks. Jennifer Armnest as also has an educational background, but she'll be coming on full time the end of the month. She's going through orientation right now. Real excited about her. Actually, Dan referred us to her. It's interesting, but when we hire people, it's usually comes from the inside. The referral comes from the inside, and then Jasmine and Pat are away at a conference.
That's true.
Again, traveling away at a conference. I know you're going to be going to a conference this time next month.
Yep.
This time next month, you're going to be in Texas.
That's right.
The Scottish cowboy hat you're going to be pulling out, I'm sure. And tonight, virtually, all of our team members are going to the Orange County Chamber Awards dinner tonight. So we'll be, celebrating, again, our business connections and that sort of stuff. So, we stay busy, Dave.
We absolutely do.
We stay busy. And this weekend, that was a fun time.
Yep.
Again, back to when people who move out of the rat race in Northern Virginia and D.C. come to Central Virginia, it's really primarily about lifestyle, about wanting the lifestyle. And where were we at this weekend? We were
at the Montpellier Hunt Races, which have, again, like many events, haven't been held for a couple of years. And that was on Saturday. It was down at the Montpellier Estate.
Where James Madison wrote all those papers that we sort of operate by.
That's right. Yeah. But it was super. It was great to see. I'm sure a lot of people that are in this area, they're familiar with maybe the Gold Cup event up near Middleburg in that area, and this is our version of it.
It was fantastic. It was my first time. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
weather was great.
Yep. There was an antique.
Kudos to our attorney.
Yep.
Our attorney for inviting us to that.
Yes, that was great. Fred did a nice
Fred
job.
Getty.
Yep. Just here outside the gates, and we were right on almost at the finishing line, at the finishing corner.
What beautiful animals!
Absolutely, really super.
Really, fantastic. Just again, something to do, lots to do in our area. So, that's why we live here.
Yeah. Great. Well, I think that's about us for today, John. Unless there's
I do want to mention we have a number of listings coming up. I'll close with that.
Yeah.
We have a townhouse in Locust Grove. It's going to be listed at $275,000. I think that's coming soon today.
Right.
We have a contractor special or a fixer-upper special. A nice property down in Fredericksburg. That's going to be coming up in the next week or two. We have a value-priced home on Lakeview Parkway in Lake of the Woods, less than $250,000. A magnificent waterfront within the next 2 weeks will be coming. Just great views, great water, really nice property. You know, $1 million plus property.
Yep.
And another one in Lake of the Woods in a couple weeks. So the market is strong. Those who are looking during the holidays are truly interested. They are buyers that want to buy. It's always a great time to buy and sell in this market. But besides that, if you're interested in learning about the market or what your house might be worth in today's market, certainly call David and I, call anyone from Licata Group,
go to our website,
our team, our website, and we'll provide a free, no obligation market analysis based on the current condition in your home.
Great. Super.
All right.
All right. Thanks
Well,
very
we'll
much,
see you,
John.
Dave.
Yep. Take care.